I mean, I think I'm an elder millennial. I think that's maybe the term. But I remember Real World Season 3 was that's when I became aware of this type of TV. And it was so different. It was so new. But you already said it. You wouldn't actually call it the very first one. Reality TV has its roots all the way back in post-World War II, right?
Yeah, and this was the big surprise to me in doing my initial research was I knew I wanted to write about Candid Camera. Most people are familiar with Candid Camera, and a lot of people are very sentimental about Candid Camera. They feel like, oh, that was the old-fashioned prank show with Alan Funt. The thing is, Candid Camera started as a radio show called Candid Microphone. And it was, at the time, it was part of a big boom of shows that put regular people on radio, which was at the time the dominant medium that everybody listened to. And, radio had lots of fancy scripted shows, comedies and dramas. And suddenly there was this set of shows that took ordinary people and had them make fools of themselves or tell personal stories, compete for prizes by spilling the beans on stuff in their families. Candid Microphone came out around that time. And it was actually sort of a edgy, iconoclastic version of these audience participation shows that was a little more dark and intellectual, a prank show that surprised people. But it was only one of many shows. And I'll go back to Candid Microphone and Candid Camera in a second. But these shows, the audience participation shows, and this is what was a real shock to me, they provoked exactly the same response from critics and audiences that, say, Survivor did in 2000. There was this boom in reality at the turn of the century. And I think, like many people around that time, I saw it as a modern art form. And actually, in the 40s, people had the same responses. They were like, what is this? Who are these people? Why would they go on the air? What does this say about the American culture? Does it show that people are narcissists? A lot of people found these shows tacky. They were very cheap. They were a way not to pay writers and actors. It was a real threat to the industry. But at the same time, people were incredibly titillated and fascinated by the ability to see regular people like themselves. So these qualities, the excitement, the high ratings, the cheapness, the ability to put regular people on the air, the huge audience eager to see these people, and the simultaneous moral panic that it provoked, that's the shape of reality television. And it repeats over and over again throughout the history of it. So that big boom in the late 40s that led on to live TV once television started was the first round of this loop that would happen, where people would put inexpensive shows on the air featuring regular people breaking taboos and saying embarrassing things. Audiences would embrace them, critics would erupt, and then onlookers who were disturbed by the entire spectacle would say, this is just a fad, it's going to go away soon. And sometimes it would fade, but it would always come back. And that pretty much went on until the turn of the century when Survivor came out. And after that, the gates opened and reality TV never went away again.